Hello, friends, and welcome. I'm your co-host, Andrew Lazaga, here with Dubside.
And you're listening to the Dubcast with Dubside.
So, Dubside, last time we talked, you were on your way to Delmarva.
Yes, and I've been there, and it was very nice. And the buzz from going to an event like that takes some time to wear off. But after, weeks or two later, you're back to the same old grind. But a couple of days after that, you're still riding on that, how great it was. But we had extremely good weather this time. Nice, warm days. No rain at all. They didn't do a kayak build, so there wasn't a group there for the whole week before that working on kayaks. But they did have Anders and Yanni from Norway, who've been special guests on the Dubcast. They were there, and not they used the ones who do the whole build, but they were there anyway, just to helping with the instruction. And so now that I'm the official Greenland ambassador, there was Kayak USA Greenland ambassador. I had a moment to speak. They had the main presentation was a guy from the Smithsonian Institute, Dr. William Fitzhugh, who's written a book about the kayaks and skin boats and kayaks of Eurasia, from northern Europe all across Siberia over to the Bering Sea there.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's all these native peoples there. I mean, you don't hear about them in this country because they're in Russia somewhere, but there's a history going back hundreds of years, and they all built different types of bark canoes and different things. And so he's pulled together all the information he can. He's him and his co-author. A lot of it's not nearly as documented as some of the stuff we have, like Carving Golden has done, but surveys of things in museums and things. But he's pulled together all he can. So I got a copy of his book, and I'm starting to read it now. It's quite interesting stuff.
Oh, interesting. Wow. How did he end up in Delmarva?
Oh, the organizer, Mike Hamilton, contacted him, and I think he had been involved. Maligiak had built a skin-on frame that the Smithsonian took, and then I think when Campy came to the U.S., he wanted to go see what they had there. So they'd been talking back and forth. So I think he was on our radar anyway, as the guy at the Smithsonian. So they wanted him to come and talk. So they had a good crowd at Delmarva. I think they were up to registration about 100. They capped it. That's about maximum. So they like a few weeks before they said the reservations closed. So it's years back it used to fill up all the time, like even a month ahead of time. But then we had all these other options, other events in other places, so it spread it out a little bit more. But it's nice to see the back up to a full crowd there. And so I had a chance to talk a little bit. I gave the pitch for Kayak USA and talked about how I'd gone to Greenland and found prospective people to bring for next year and bought some auction items. But I think but on the Sunday before we were leaving, I said if you'd like to on the way home still hear about kayaking, you can ride home with me by listening to the Dubcast with Dubside.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to ride home with me and Jack Gilman, who was sitting there in the room, you can do that. If you want to ride home with me and Allison Sigathy, who was in the room, you can ride with Tim Galloway, who was sitting right next to me, you can ride home with him. If you want to ride home with Yanni and Anders, you can ride. If you want to ride with Kevin and Nikki Mansell. And then I said, if I've forgotten anybody, and right behind me was Peter Gengler. I said, oh, yes, Peter Gengler. And I didn't even realize till later on that Don Beal was there, who's also been a guest.
Yes.
So I've got quite a list of people.
Isn't it an amazing resource?
Yeah.
Did you get any feedback about the podcast?
Yeah, there were a number of people said they've been listening to it.
Oh, great.
Some people that they've caught up on it, things like. I have to order some more guitar picks. I think I gave out all the ones I had. The new people that were there.
And you had mentioned there were some younger people there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new enthusiasm and new energy.
Excellent.
Really encouraging.
Yeah. So what's the news about STIKS, the South Sound traditional Inuit?
Yeah, STIKS is going to happen. Yeah, they've got the date. That's June. Was it June 9th or something like that?
Excellent.
And a location in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, so that is scheduled to take place, and they've got me coming out there for that. So I'll be on the West Coast this next year in the spring.
All right, mid-June, Dubside will be here. Now's your chance to see him at STIKS. Not in Portland, though, right? It's on the Columbia River.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we going to listen to this week?
Well, I've got a whole stash of special guest interviews that I'm still putting together. But this week, let's go to since we hit Maligiak last week, which was one of my major achievements. This is an interview I'm really proud of getting. This is the guy from Nanook, the musician.
Yeah.
Christian Elsner, who knocked on the door. Well, went into the store in Nuuk there. And he was there, and I said, would you like? I'd like you to interview. And I showed him my guitar pick. He said, I got one of those. I'd sent him one quite a while back.
Okay.
So we had, and he rather than just give a quick thing, he said, I close at 1:00. It was Saturday. I close at 1. Come right before 1, and then I'll close up, and then we can talk undisturbed. So that's what we did.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And so this will reset the whole promo of I'm trying to get people to buy CDs off the website. As he says in this interview, like the sales of CDs has gone way, way down because nobody buys CDs anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a whole process, and there's a way on Spotify, I think you can get the whole catalog. And he talks about that. So after this episode, I'm not going to be trying to tell people to go buy the CDs, but I'll have other ways to tell them to get the music that we'll be featuring.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Welcome to the Dubcast with Dubside. This is a special guest edition of the Dubcast. I'm going to be talking to Christian Elsner of the band Nanook. And Christian will tell you how to get all the Nanook and all the Greenlandic music. And you don't have to go buy the CDs like I've been telling you to do in all the previous Dubcasts. There's a way to buy it online. And Christian talks about how Nanook got started, him and his brother's early musical influences, talks about how they turned down an offer from Sony Records. He talks about other bands in Greenland music history. I asked him about climate change, and I asked him about the changes on the horizon for Greenland. So, this is Dubside with the Dubcast, and I'm very, very happy to have actually, as a special guest, Christian Elsner of the Elsner Brothers of Nanook, who I've mentioned so many times in this podcast. And so, I'm here in Nuuk, right in the shop of Atlantic Music that I tell everybody to go to order CDs. So, how are you, Christian?
I'm pretty good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here. So we're in your shop here with all the records and stuff and CDs and everything. Now, and I'm learning that in Greenland, it's probably everywhere else, like people aren't buying actual physical CDs as much anymore.
It's not as much as before. No, it's pretty almost died. The sale has almost died, but yeah, maybe like 15% are buying now,
right.
Where for 5 years ago it was like 90% of the market.
Wow.
Yeah, now people buy digitally and stream it.
Yeah.
So in Greenland we have developed a new app, a streaming app.
Yeah.
It's like Spotify and Apple Music and all these other streaming services, just marketed to Greenland only.
Okay.
So it can be used in Greenland and Denmark, this app.
Okay.
So people buy an app. No, it's actually free to get the app, but you pay every month.
Okay.
And you can hear all Greenlandic music.
And then that money, some of that money goes to the artists themselves.
Yeah, 50%.
50%, which is better deal than
it's
iTunes.
Way better deal.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, it's closer to the CD sales, but not the same, of course. Yeah, but way better than Spotify and other streaming services.
And that's less trouble for you to actually have to press CDs.
Sure,
right?
Yeah, it is. But yeah, as I said, the income is not the same as before. Yeah. But it's much better than not having anything.
Yeah. Well, I've told again and again people to go on atlanticmusic.gl and order this CD of music that I promote on my thing, but I doubt a lot of people are doing that.
We sell very much out of Greenland, actually, through our website.
Yeah.
People buy a lot of vinyls and CDs, and it's all over the world. Yeah. We send it to Australia, US,
All right.
Europe.
So on the website, if to get an actual physical CD, it changes it varies with the exchange rate, but it's roughly $20 or so.
Yeah.
Now, is a good portion of that for the shipping?
Well, it's better to buy more at the time because the shipping does cost a lot.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of offers. Almost 50% of the whole catalog is like half price. So
yeah. I see stuff there that it's for on sale for much less.
Yeah.
But then when you ask for the shipping to the U.S., it goes back up to almost the $20.
Yeah,
usually.
it's almost as the same price as a normal CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for people in the U.S. who get interested in music that I encourage them to check out, who want to buy it digitally, how does that work in the U.S.?
Well, the whole catalog is on iTunes Store. So
iTunes Store.
So you can own it. When you download and pay for it, you own it. But you can also stream it, and that's kind of
when you download the whole catalog you own. Or
no,
one at a time.
One at a time.
But okay.
And I think that's about $10. I think for an album.
Okay.
Yeah, and you own it digitally.
Okay.
So you get it on your phone or your laptop, and you own it.
Right.
Where when you stream it, you really don't own it. You just borrow it, kind of. But you can listen to it any way you want.
Now I recall some CDs from the past, like there was one of those DDR CDs, had like the digital and
the copy
prevention
control
thing. Yeah. And so I put it in my computer, would play it, but then I would try to copy it onto my MP3 player, and it wouldn't.
Yeah, it had
work,
some
which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it was. We stopped. We only used that for a couple of years and found out it wasn't such a good idea.
All right.
Yeah, we tried to prevent the copy market, the black market.
I can see both sides of it.
Yeah, but we stopped doing that. It helped some ways, but too many complained about some CD players couldn't play it.
Yeah,
some car CD players couldn't play the CDs, and so we just stopped doing that. Yeah. But also the whole catalog is out on Spotify and other streaming services all around the world now.
Okay.
Since February this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can from US stream the whole catalog.
Okay.
On Spotify.
I'll have to start telling people to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your band Nanook and how you started with that. And I assume that, just from what I know, your parents started the Atlantic Music operation, right? And there were a number of other Greenland music things, but you're sort of the last one standing. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if we can say that.
Okay.
Our parents, me and my brother, who are in Nanook, our parents opened this shop back in 1990.
Okay.
Down in South Greenland, and then they opened a label called Atlantic Music, including a studio, Atlantic Studio. So we were just children back then. So many bands recorded and
so I'm assuming that you growing up around all the music, you just naturally gravitated and seeing all stuff as an example. And it really...
We pretty much lived in the studio and in the shop.
Wow.
Among musicians.
Yeah. Well.
And we
you
grew
can
up,
kind of tell.
We grew up with a father who played a lot of music as well. Before he opened the store, he was a rock guitar player back in the days.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. So are there other brothers and sisters? Or it's just you and
just me and Frederik.
Yeah. And you're older than he is?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years older? Really? Wow.
Yeah. People. I tease him when we tour.
Yeah.
And I usually ask the audience, who do you think is the older brother? And many choose Frederik, and he hates that. Yeah.
So, and there's also this band, Among Relatives, he was involved
that was
with
Frederik's first band.
And that was a Danish thing?
Yeah, he lived in Denmark for like 7 years studying.
Right.
Business school, and he was very much into sports back then. He was
a badminton. He was a top level.
Yeah, he was on the national team, and he won pretty many tournaments. Yeah. And back then he was performing as a guitar player for a band called Among Relatives.
Yeah.
Very skilled band, And that
And they're doing like stuff with Danish lyrics.
no English.
English lyrics.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
English. Okay.
I don't know how many years they're not a band anymore, but
Okay.
I guess they were a band for like maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
And toured the whole Denmark.
Did they have different lineups that sometimes didn't include Frederik, or he was always?
He was always there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had violinist.
Violinist.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a pretty cool band. Progressive. Very good indie rock. Yeah. He learned a lot from that band.
Yeah. So did Nanook start before that band ended, or kind of after?
Frederik decided to move back to Greenland.
Okay.
Yeah, and he already started. We both started writing songs before he got into that band.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of songs unreleased, and we had never produced any songs.
Right.
So we were quite new back then. But he did it with among relatives, so he learned how to work in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it all started.
Now, both of you play guitar as your primary instrument?
Yeah.
Okay.
It always been guitar. I started out as a keyboard player, but not for long. I moved to guitar pretty fast. Yeah.
What would you say some of your early musical influences are?
Mine or both?
Both.
It's very mixed.
Okay.
I listened a lot to rock, like Metallica and Nirvana and grunge.
Yeah.
But very mixed. I really like Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Queen. So very well-known artists.
All right.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd.
Yeah. All right.
I guess it's from our father. He had this vinyl collection we used to check out, and when he was not there, we played all kinds of music. Yeah.
Wow.
And Frederik were since he's a bit younger, he was very much into like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah.
Korn, Limp Bizkit, all these kind of bands.
Yeah.
But also the older stuff. He loves Johnny Cash. He loves Neil Young. He's a big fan of Neil Young.
Yeah.
So but we both kind of found each other in music, like Radiohead, Sigur Rós from Iceland. Do you know those? Okay,
I know Radiohead, but
it's a very big band from Iceland. These more melancholic music. We kind of found each other in these kind of bands. Yeah.
All right.
But very mix of music. We also like. I mean, I listen to Eminem as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Hip hop. So But at the moment I listen a lot to Gojira, which opened the Olympics yesterday.
Oh, okay.
This metal band.
Oh.
French little metal band. So it's very mixed what we listen to.
There's a guy, I'm told, here in Greenland maybe, he's Danish, but he's very fanatical about Greenlandic music, like I am, I guess. His name is Arfat?
Alfred.
Alfred? Yeah.
Alfred, yeah. He's the bass player of Tio.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Tio. Oh yeah.
Tio is a duo.
Okay. I have both the Tio.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So now they are a trio.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He just released a song.
Okay.
Like a month ago. His first song in English.
Oh yeah.
About climate change. Yeah. And he asked if I wanted to sing. So me and many other artists sings on this track.
Oh yeah.
He's very well known here because he came as a Danish person, and is now pretty much like a Greenlandic person because he can speak the language now.
Wow, good for him.
And very fast learner. He learned it in very few years, and it's incredible. Yeah.
I've been for more than 20 years trying, but bought every dictionary and grammar book and everything else in the bookstores, and
it's difficult. I guess it's easier when you live here.
I haven't been able to pull that off, but that is the ticket.
It is a very difficult language. It is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, when you first put out the first CD, tell me about that.
The first album was in 2009.
2009.
Yeah. Our sun is shining on you was the title. Yeah, it was a year after me and Frederik got into a band with a girl named Nina.
Nina,
which is
Nina,
Nina, very big singer.
Oh yeah. I know Nina. Yeah.
We were in that band, and we toured Greenland like 2 times, and sometimes in Denmark. And
That was like her backing band or something.
Yeah.
She was in Kushlek way back when.
Yeah.
But this is after that.
Yeah, this is 10 years after.
Yeah. Okay.
She's been in several bands with different musicians. Yeah.
So you toured with her?
Yeah, a couple of years.
All right. How long were these tours?
Well, it was mainly like 3 gigs at a time here in Greenland. Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes in Denmark as well.
All right.
But yeah, that's when we decided to do our own thing, me and Frederik.
Were you singing backups or just playing guitar?
Yeah. We learned a lot by Nina because she learned us all kinds of singing methods, and she's one of the best singers in Greenland. So it was a tough task to be in a band with her. So we learned very much singing backing vocals.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it gave us a lot of confidence. She gave us this thing, believing in yourself. She taught us that.
Right.
So we started dreaming about getting our own stuff out. So that's what we did.
So backing up a little bit, how did you learn to play guitar? Was that by lessons or like YouTube videos or books or somebody or
friends?
Did your father show you anything?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
When he had time. But yeah, my father and some of our friends who was a bit older than us, they were very good at guitar. But mainly you learned, other songs, Greenlandic legendary songs and other international songs. Yeah. That's how it all started.
Right.
Yeah.
In Greenland here, for people learning an instrument, is it like in the U.S. we'll have music shops that have lessons, and you go there every week and you pay, and there's somebody, a teacher like that. Is it not done so much that way in Greenland?
I mean, there are private teachers, but not many.
Yeah.
There's also some towns, like here in Nuuk, there are schools. There's a music school, but there's a waiting list. So
really,
so it's mainly today YouTube is very used.
That's,
But back then we didn't have YouTube. It was in the 90s. So we just learned by each other. Watch and learn. Yeah.
Did you have a decent guitar back then?
No. I had the cheapest Squire electric guitar.
Squire, the Fender knockoff.
Yeah. And then I had I think it was a very cheap Yamaha guitar. Yeah.
Those are both electric, or?
I had I had an acoustic and an electric. Yeah.
Right.
I started with the acoustic.
Yeah.
But I had those cheap guitars for 5 years.
Yeah.
It was good enough to learn.
All right.
Yeah.
And so the music store that you have here, you're supplying instruments and guitar strings and parts and amps and everything else. And as you said to me yesterday, that you are the main supplier of musical equipment to Greenland.
Yeah, I mean, we're the only shop in the whole country, so we distribute every week to other towns. People order through our web shop all the time. Yeah.
Wow. What's your best selling item?
I guess that's the cheap Spanish guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
The classical, the nylon string guitars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yamaha makes.
Yeah, Yamaha C40.
I've seen, yeah.
And
I bought one on the street in Nuuk several years ago for a guy. He wanted 800 kroners for it.
Okay. Yeah.
I offered him 600. He said it was a deal, and then I had a 5 and a 200, and he was going to get changed. I said, just keep the 700.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, and the keyboard, the cheap keyboards are also very popular.
Yeah.
You usually say that in Greenland, every home has either a guitar or a keyboard.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's pretty, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So your second album was called I.
Yeah.
Right? And I have to tell you that I love the way what your keyboard player did. You know how companies get so blatant with their advertising, and they'll plaster their name all over things, And on my guitar head, you can see it says Martin or Gibson. It's not huge, but keyboards, they'll put 3-inch letters across the back of the keyboard to face the audience on the stage, and everybody sees it's a Yamaha keyboard or something like that.
Yeah.
So your keyboard player had a Kai keyboard.
Oh yeah.
And he covered up the K with some tape, and so it said I, the name of the album. I thought that was brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, that's very smart. Yeah. It came out 2 years after our debut album.
Yeah.
I.
Okay.
And there was a big pressure on us because the first album was such a big hit. We didn't know it would be such a big hit.
Really?
Yeah, so everybody waited for the second. So you know how it is.
That's
it can be tricky.
The
to
second
make a sequel.
album is a tough thing.
But we were.
There's a. You guys might even fit that same mold. There's a band that comes out initially very strong, and the lead person's brother is also in the band. Creedence Clearwater Revival fits that mold. Dire Straits fits that mold. I think Bachman Turner Overdrive fits that mold. And Nanook as well. Although, you guys are I think of you as the heart of the band, and the other guys are the keyboard, bass, and drums are sort of the backup guys. It may not be that way internally.
Yeah.
But you and Frederik are sort of equal together, or?
Yeah, we write the songs.
Right. Like he doesn't write more than you do, or
it depends. Like the last album, Frederik wrote like maybe 70%.
Yeah, okay.
Where in the beginning it was more 50-50.
Okay.
It will depend on the moment. Yeah.
Having done all this and having done 2 solo albums and having worked, the songs for like the Kimonok second CD, he is so prolific. It's scary.
He's very productive. He thinks music all the time.
Wow.
Like when we fly around in Europe.
So even on tour,
he's on the plane writing lyrics when he's not sleeping. Yeah.
Huh. Good for him. So, I'm told that you guys were offered a deal by Sony Records.
Yeah,
but they wanted you.
It's like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
They wanted you to sing in English.
Yeah, they told us. They heard the music, and they were very thrilled. They were ready for an international deal if we could switch over to English.
And you turned them down.
Yeah.
That takes some real artistic integrity, man. I'm very impressed.
It was very. We didn't think about it so long because we could feel right away it would be wrong. Singing our lyrics in English. Yeah.
Wow.
If we had to do something in English, I don't think it would be Nanook.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do it just in some other project sometime in the future. But
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be critical if you decide to do something in English. It's your decision to make. But the fact that you've stayed with Greenlandic, even with an offer like that is just really impressive.
Thanks. Well, it's important to us.
Yeah.
That the lyrics, what we sing, that we are true to the words. So it comes from our hearts.
So both of you, that's your native language. You speak Danish as well as English, but Greenlandic is the real tongue. Yeah. Wow. And so how do you relate to you've toured lots of different places. So say you're in Japan, you can pretty much take it as a given that they're not going to understand the Greenlandic lyrics.
Yeah.
Does that feel different when performing? That relating to the audience? Like
of course it's different performing here in Greenland and then go to other countries.
Yeah.
But even the Japanese people have told us we've been there on 3 tours through the years. When they don't listen to the lyrics, it sounds Japanese.
Oh yeah.
When they hear a song in the radio, if they don't concentrate and it just goes on the radio, it sounds like a Japanese song. But they don't understand a word. So they use a lot of translations from our booklets and.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that the lyrics are printed in English on the in the CDs.
Or the explanations of the song sometimes.
Yeah, it's maybe not direct translation, but that's difficult to do.
It loses a lot.
And I see that in the credits, like you'll have somebody did the translation. So when you're writing it, it's just Greenlandic coming out, and if it's time to figure out what it means, somebody else can bother with that for English. Like you don't do it yourself.
We explain the songs to the guys who translate.
Who write out the tune.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
But it's mainly about the rhythm, the mood in the songs that people like. When they don't understand
the
the
feeling
lyrics.
of it. Yeah.
So
when I saw Rasmus Lubeth perform in the U.S., he said, you won't understand any of this, but just close your eyes and we'll go to the stars. And when he sings, you go to the stars.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of that in Japan with people closing their eyes.
Yeah.
And we actually thought there was something wrong because they were so quiet. Our first concert. But when in between the concerts they open up and clap and it was a very good feeling.
Like how large a crowd were these?
I mean, it's not big, huge.
Couple hundred people,
more maybe 500 people.
Yeah. Okay.
The biggest stage there's about 800. Yeah. Right. But it's enough to tour if you have like 10 gigs. Around Japan. We've been in North Japan, South Japan, and mainly in Kyoto and Sapporo. Yeah. And then Tokyo.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you tour, you've toured across Canada and Alaska. So it would be an Inuit audience.
Yeah, that's our second biggest audience.
And is that
naturally?
That's not like Japan. You feel a connection with the.
Very much.
Even if they don't know exactly how the Greenlandic, but they get some of it. Right?
Yeah, they understand almost all the lyrics. Yeah. Right. And it's a bit like touring here in Greenland when we tour in the Inuit countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we only been to the States like 2 times.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Washington, D.C. and Alaska.
I caught the Washington, D.C. show back then at the Kennedy Center.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 11 years ago.
Yeah. It was a while back.
Yeah.
They had you the one night and Rasmus Lubert another night.
Yeah.
That was.
It was a nice venue.
Cool.
A big, long hall.
Yeah. The Kennedy Center has these big performance areas, and then in the sort of out in the atrium, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
There's a stage at the end, and they have bands. So it was for free. So I said, "Oh, Nanook for free, I'm there."
Yeah, we were very thrilled because so many people came.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just because it's about Greenland and people want to see what Greenland is. Because I don't think many knew who we were when we performed there. So it was a good experience for all of us. Yeah.
You got any plans to tour the U.S. in the future or do any concerts?
I mean, there's been invites. I think it'll be easier when the international airport finishes here in Nuuk.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So when we get direct flights to the U.S., that's coming down the road somewhere. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there'll be direct flights to New York from here.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, I would expect.
Maybe we can tour.
Yeah.
It could be nice. Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. So I was coming back from Greenland in 2017, I think it was, and there was various changes happening, so I didn't get on the flight I wanted to be on. But the guy who was on that flight showed me later with his camera that you guys were on the plane, and the captain said, "We have a special guest." So you went up and down the aisles with your guitars playing a song. You remember that?
Oh, that was from here to Denmark, I think.
Yeah,
from Kayak. We performed the 2 songs on the plane.
Yeah.
That was
when he showed me the video, I was so jealous I wasn't on that flight.
Well, only the people in the near area would be able to hear us.
Well, you walked up and down the aisles.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. As much as you could with a guitar.
Yeah. It was a fun experience.
That was Ingeshlania Lalakagut with the name of that song.
That was one of them. Yeah,
that was one song. That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun to try that.
Yeah,
we were performing in Tivoli in Copenhagen.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think I might have seen you in Tivoli later, but I wasn't on that flight. Well, I liken that to the American equivalent would be like. You're riding in a plane somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, Sting is on board. He's going to come up and down the aisle and grace you with a song.
Yeah, people were happy. Yeah.
That was very cool. So you've got now several CDs, and then there's a live CD with the DVD.
We have 5 studio albums.
5 studio
and
albums,
2 live albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that single you did way back when, like was it the kids promo, like fundraiser thing?
Ah, yeah. That was back in let me think.
That was way back when.
12, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
like that.
Collecting money for neglected kids organization. Yeah.
Have you done any other special stuff like that? I mean, like
Our second live album, which came out in, was it 19? Yeah. All the money went for that as well.
But a second live album.
Yeah. We had a 10-year anniversary concert.
Is that on CD?
Not anymore. It's sold out. It's
I
on
must have
vinyl.
missed that one.
Yeah, it's on vinyl though still.
And what's that one called?
It's called Inuit, which means for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, it's
Since I'm collecting every single thing you've done.
okay. We kind of call it the best stuff album.
Okay.
Because we
And then there's
lots of songs.
the Danish release of the first 2 albums.
Yeah, the
Just
Scandinavian release.
I picked that up in Copenhagen.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
It's sold out too, so you're lucky.
Oh,
you got
yeah,
that.
I got it. Now, when I was, these are just little technical questions that come to mind, but I think I asked Frederik about that one back then. I was here in the store, and he was saying he was working on that one. They were mixing that one for the Danish release. It hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And so I got it and listened to it. About like they're just different drum tracks.
Yeah.
That's the main difference.
And the bass.
The bass?
Yeah, also different.
Okay.
Yeah. And the what do you call it? Mermaid Records, who signed us for the Scandinavian market. They wanted a new updated sound for their market. And,
Frederik said something like that. I thought it sounded to me like something like you had a new bass and guitar player, so you put them on.
We had a new bass player who's been there since 11 now.
Okay.
The old bass player was only there for a year and a half.
Okay.
The drummer needed a break, Martin.
Okay.
He didn't play music. He lost his father, and so he went off stage for several years. Yeah. We had a guy who lived here in Nuuk for many years, but moved to Denmark. Hans Rosenberg, older guy, but very stable, and he knew our songs. And so we asked him if he could stand in. Yeah, and after performing with them a couple of times, we got this deal with Mermaid Records. That they could do a best of special release. But they wanted a new mix of the songs. So
I mean, they're not that drastically different, and I can't tell why one would be different from the other for its different market. But I guess if that's what they want.
Yeah, and I mean, the original will always be the best for us.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. But we said yes. And it sold out. So not bad.
All right. So for an artist in Greenland, a musician, to make a living at music, there are big challenges.
Pretty much impossible.
Okay.
We don't
explain how that works.
I mean, the country is very small in population.
Less than 60,000 people.
Yeah.
So that right there.
So when you're success, you're not a millionaire like in US.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
But you get by, but you have to have a job on the side. Yeah. But the music is actually the side thing. Yeah. You have to have an income to make a living. When you sell, when you get gold certified in Greenland, it's only 3,000 copies.
3,000 records.
Which is a lot in percentage of the population, of course, but it's not.
But not
enough.
much money.
No, exactly.
So you can have gold records left and right, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah, true. But we get paid well performing live. If you attract a big audience, you can get good fees. But still, you can't keep touring the same 20 towns every month. So it's very restricted.
Now there are some people who have tried to break out into the international market by singing in English.
Yeah.
Right.
There's been some.
Angu for many years had some nice records.
He did pretty good actually in Denmark. maybe about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it
Enough
kinda,
to make a living at the time on just the music, or almost?
I mean, yeah, I mean he didn't live a luxury life, but yeah,
All right.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he pretty much retired from music now, or what's he doing?
He's not very. I haven't seen him on stage for many years.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
mainly into photography now.
Oh, yeah?
He's a very good photographer.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
but there's been a lot trying in English. But
Yeah.
there's
And,
not
and
been.
Julia, you'd say, but we say Julian.
Yeah. I think she's the biggest.
She did
success.
like two CDs in English quite a while ago, right?
I think she's done like 4 or 5
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And she sold many records in Denmark. She broke through in Denmark through a TV show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because now she's done lots of other things. She's got like a jewelry line and stuff. She's done. pretty well
Yeah,
for
and
herself.
she's in TV shows.
She lives in Sweden now, I believe.
I think she lives in Sweden and Denmark. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Her father-in-law works in Washington D.C. at the Danish embassy as the Greenland plenipotentiary.
Ah, okay.
I've talked with him quite a bit. He was a special guest on my podcast.
Ah,
actually.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, her husband is a professional handball
Yeah, he
player.
told me.
Yeah.
He told me. Yeah. Very cool. So, in the history of Greenland music, you've got a bit of that on the website, and the website, you can switch it to English, but not everything comes up in English. So the description of the album sometimes, which are very, sometimes the only way to really get a sense of what's on there, sometimes they're only in Danish.
Okay.
And I know most of your audience is not going to be people speaking English, but for those of us who do, every little thing we can gather on there is
We had
useful.
It was actually students from the university who had a project about music history.
Okay.
And they delivered this for a page.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
So the big pioneer was Sume back in...
Yeah, I guess they were the biggest, and they changed the whole political structure in Greenland. And they kind of were the heroes back then, and still are today.
Yeah.
Because they did so much for the country, regaining the strength in the Greenlandic people, believing in ourselves, and let's take the country back. And so they have influenced a lot in the whole country.
And some of those guys are still alive?
Yeah. I mean, Julia's father is one of them, Per Bertelsen.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the lead singers. And Malik also. They are all alive, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But not active. They don't perform live anymore.
Yeah. So where does Qarsuk fit into there?
Qarsuk?
They're after...
they are in the early 80s.
Okay.
Rock and roll party band.
Okay.
I know Albert Damgaard, the lead singer, very well.
Okay.
He comes in here all the time. He's
right.
a good friend. They still perform, not many, maybe like one show a year.
Okay.
They're not so young anymore. But, but very popular party band. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so then of what I know, there's the female vocalists from back in there. There's Nina and Yuli, and then you've got Tuparnak.
Yeah, that's all newer names. We have the biggest called Marina.
Yeah, she goes way back. Right?
Yeah, and she's one of the first who broke through, and is still like the queen today. Everybody loves her. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I saw her perform once in Eurasia, I think it was, at some little club.
Okay.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's very different watching her at a club or on the big stage, of course. Yeah, you have to see her on the big stage. It's amazing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you had Stine Jacobsen, who now lives in Denmark. I don't think she records anymore. Her that one CD of hers I thought was very good.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, also very popular.
Yeah.
There haven't been that many actually female artists.
Yeah.
Maybe like 20 big names.
Okay. Well, you have this, what's her name? Baninguak
Jensen.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Yeah. She's a later generation.
Yeah, she's very new. But
and there's Rina.
Rina, she did one album. Yeah.
Okay.
Also very popular.
Yeah.
It's actually the party band Susset.
Yeah.
It's actually the guy who writes the Susset music, that's him who made the Rena album.
He produced that. I can see his name in the credits. Yeah, he sings on the back. I can hear his backup vocals. Yeah. He's Susad are the ones where they have the vocoder on all the time, which annoys the heck out of me.
We call it the Cher effect.
Yeah, it is. That is the Cher effect.
And it's on purpose.
I can see that, but I think it's just
style.
It's way overdone. It's like too much icing on the cake. But anyway, that they've had success with that.
Very much. They are one of the most streamed artists ever. Yeah.
now they have 2 CDs, or they're
3.
still the 3 now. Okay.
4 actually.
Really? Okay.
They released one this year.
Oh yeah.
And it's easygoing music. People when they just want to hear something happy, they just turn on Susset and they party.
Yeah. Not designed to be really intense, serious, deep music.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Just fun stuff. So the some of the textures you have on some of your songs, a lot of the keyboard stuff, which I would assume you don't start out on the guitar with that kind of sound, but maybe your keyboard player throws that in. And I'm thinking like it's the 3rd or the 4th album, the first song on there. I don't have the
on the 4th.
No, it's the
album.
Inuit Sinut Apu. That one. Oh, and that's your most recent one. It might be.
At Das Jusudut or what?
Yeah.
Is it with the claws?
That one.
That album?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the first song on there.
Yeah.
It's got some really cool like.
A little dark.
Yeah.
And there's this robot voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And now, a song like that doesn't start out that way. You just eventually work it out as you.
Yeah, it was actually an acoustic song. Me and Frederik made the guitar very moody.
Okay.
And then we had to make it a band song because we're a band.
Yeah.
So we took it to the rehearsing room and tried all kinds of things out. And me and Frederik put on some effects on the guitars, electric guitars. Yeah. And Mads just started his stuff, and there was a moment where we said, "This sound, that's the sound," and that's how it just started out.
So you guys are rehearsing all the time, or
no? I mean, 2 of us in the band live in Copenhagen, in Denmark. So no, we don't rehearse that much.
Oh, okay.
We rehearse before a tour.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's mainly when it's for an album. Me and Frederik make the demos.
Okay.
And send it to the guys, and they can hear them. And most of the time, we actually already made the bass, made the keyboards, made the machine drums for it.
You got an idea for the parts.
Yeah. But sometimes they have better ideas than we have, and we listen to them and try to find out which sounds we'll use.
So when you're touring, you can't always get all the sounds you had in the studio to play, but you have like a live version of a song?
It's pretty much the same sounds, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any issues on tour, like getting the gear that you need, like a good sound system?
Sometimes. I mean, it's heavy stuff, especially our keyboard player has heavy stuff. But he brings two of the more important keyboards. Yeah. Me and Frederik usually pick our favorite guitars, 2 of them, and not 5. That's how we have to tour. It's expensive with the overweight and all these planes you have to catch.
Well, having been a sound engineer and done like monitor sound and things like that, you have when the club when the band doesn't sell at the club, it doesn't matter if they're a huge name with gold records. If the club doesn't think they're going to make any money, they'll cut back on the
very much
on the stuff. Yeah, and the musicians grumble. And
you can. I mean, it depends on who you are, but there's sometimes you can hear it when you haven't got your own gear.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's not good for a band because that's what people think they normally sound like.
Yeah. So you've done songs about climate change as a theme, songs about suicide, songs about other things. Do you find that your music is seen by the average person in Greenland as like representing their feelings, like you're speaking for generations? They see your music in that way, or do you think of it that way?
Of course, not all of the songs, but some of the themes, yeah. Especially, I mean, you mentioned the suicide subject.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is a big problem up here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and every day we see climate change.
Yeah.
But not many writes about it up here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but we tour so much, we see it very much. The changes in the country. Yeah, and the ice melting. We're from South Greenland. Me and my brother grew up in South Greenland.
The Norderlig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a huge fjord called the Symposium.
Mm-hmm.
And we went fishing every summer in the ice cap.
Okay.
Right near the ice sheet. You could fish huge trouts.
Yeah.
And after 7 years, when we moved to Nuuk, we went back there after a tour in South Greenland, and we couldn't recognize the place because of the melting ice. Yeah. So yeah, it has influenced our lyrics a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
What we see and experience, that's what we put down on words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that some of the really iconic music or the very big bands from the 70s in the U.S. were they call it the social barometer. Like their feelings they put in the music were so much shared by the general population. Everybody, they felt that music speaks for me, and that led to the big popularity of it. And even if the artist didn't consciously think of it that way, it just came out like that.
Well, the artist is a person as well, so it seems pretty normal that others can relate. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I would think that if at some point the pressure of knowing that everyone's paying attention to your stuff and thinking about your responsibility can get to be tough sometimes.
Especially the second and third album, we had that kind of pressure, where we after the third album, it also got gold certified and very good reviews, and it was awarded a prize.
Okay,
we kind of, we after that the pressure kind of disappeared.
Okay.
So with the fourth album, we felt very free, and we didn't feel we had to make lyrics for others, and there was no pressure at all. So so that was the first time actually since the debut album we felt we could just do what the hell we want. So that was a very nice feeling for all of us. Yeah. Maybe because the three first albums were all successful, so we kind of didn't have to prove anything with the fourth.
Wow!
So that was just very much for fun and very much with no hurry. Where the second album had to come out very soon because
did you
of the
record
success.
These, like here at your studio, or a situation where you didn't have to pay an hourly rate for the studio time?
The first three albums were made in Atlantic Studio in Copenhagen.
In Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fourth.
So that was with the clock running and somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was with some pressure there.
Yeah, very much.
Okay.
Where the fourth, we got help from funds to go to Iceland.
Oh yeah.
And we wanted to use this legendary studio in Iceland called Sundlaugen, where many big bands have recorded.
Right.
I don't know if you know Kayak, Icelandic blues rock band.
I haven't heard.
Okay, they broke through in the States.
Oh yeah.
For like I don't know 6 years ago. Right. And they tour around the world now.
I've been stuck on Greenlandic music and not paying attention to much else, but I should check into some more.
I'm pretty sure you know the song "Way Down We Go," which is international. It has over 1 billion views on YouTube. Yeah. But that we really like that sound.
Okay.
So we found out who was the producer and where it was produced. Mm-hmm. So when we heard it was in Iceland and it's so close, we were like, we have to get there.
Yeah.
So we went there for 3 weeks and recorded the fourth album.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a whole new experience. I mean, new place, don't know the producer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun to try. Yeah.
So Frederik's first solo album, he did some collaboration with Icelandic.
Faroe Islands.
Faroe. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Faroe Islands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. He recorded his album with Ivor, a singer from Faroe Islands.
Vaguely, but
very well known Faroe
okay.
Islands. Her producer produced Frederik's second album.
So what?
The first album was a Swedish guy actually who produced it. Yeah.
So him doing a solo album, was he just had so much material he wanted to do that, or why wasn't that another Nanook album?
Yeah, he. I mean, when he mentioned it, it was very personal lyrics.
Okay.
He didn't think would suit in Nanook. Nanook. Okay. So it was mainly because of the style, which was more country.
Okay.
More laid back. And by that time Nanook was a bit rock. More into rock. And so he didn't think it would suit well into Nanook.
All right.
Yeah, and it became a very nice country pop album. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guessed that one of the songs on his album, and he had this Ivor I mentioned, and Ole Christiansen also guested the album. Very nice album. Yeah, very popular.
Yeah. All right. So we'll wrap up here a little shortly, but so I see Greenland right now at somewhat of a turning point with these 3 new airports coming. The one pretty soon, and the other one's a big push for tourism, and getting very close to being completely independent from Denmark, and that to me sounds like big changes are coming and it'll be different. How do you see that?
I think you're right. I don't think we'll be independent of Denmark soon, though.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, an international airport here in Nuuk is a huge game changer. Yeah. And experts say that this will be the new Reykjavik.
Okay.
In Iceland 20 years ago.
Okay.
And this will be the next here in Nuuk. So everybody's building hotels at the moment.
Yeah, I can see this town is
it's
building
very
left and right.
Just in 5 years, you can't recognize downtown anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of things are happening, and we can feel it here in the shop. There are many tourists all the time, and it's from all over the world. It's not like only the States or Europe. I mean, we have people from Asia as well, and New Zealand, and all the whole world is coming, and it's just the beginning. So yeah, it's a bit frightening. We have
like there's good and bad.
I mean, for the economy, of course, it looks very good. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a bit frightened about. We have cruise ships coming every day the whole summer. Yeah. And it's like 3,000 to 4,000 people sometimes walking around in a town where there's 19,000 people. Yeah. Wow. And these ships also go to villages where there's only like 100 people. Yeah. And 4,000 people walking around in a village like that.
Well, I see now on the
it'll have consequences.
The cultural center here. It's called
Katuaq. Yeah.
You see that big sign on the door, "Dear Tourist." It's if you're looking for the tourist information, like it's not here, and go.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I guess you've had thousands of tourists coming in there saying, "Can I have this?" And
it feels like we are not really prepared to this kind of scale. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if there are 2 big planes get stuck here because of weather, there's still not enough hotels. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned, but also kind of excited just to see what's gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah. In November this year, it'll open up.
Coming right up.
Crazy.
Well, I sort of have seen the Greenlandic method is we'll improvise, we'll get through it, we'll make something work, and it'll turn out okay. You don't need a whole lot of long-term detailed planning. We just go for it. So
I think a lot of things will change on the whole coast. Tourism will explode, so many people will maybe quit their jobs and start making money out of tourists. I think that's the main difference. Yeah.
Well. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
I'm planning on coming back next year. Sissimute is where the competition will be. So I'll probably make a swing down. Well, I'll probably be flying right into Nuuk to get the Sissimute. So I'll probably spend
Drop by.
more time. Yeah, I will.
Sure.
I will drop by. We'll talk again.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. Well, thanks again to Christian Elsner of Nanook for doing that interview. Recorded July 27th, 2024. And as Christian says, the entire Atlantic Music catalog is available on iTunes Store and on Spotify, which means you don't have to hear me tell you to go buy a CD from atlanticmusic.gl, because now you can just download it. And in that way, you will be supporting Greenlandic music and Greenlandic musicians. And as we mentioned at the end of the interview, with the flight straight out of Nuuk, which should be coming to the U.S. sometime in the future, it may get easier to see some of these Greenlandic musicians in the U.S. May I suggest that you right now go online and check out the music of Nanook.